Hello, everyone. Welcome in. I hope everyone is doing great today. I'm going to give people, there's just a few people that have registered that aren't in yet. I'm going to give them maybe 2, maybe 3 minutes to join, and then I'll get started. Feel free to just hang out, go grab a drink if you need one. This won't take too long once I get started, but if you want a drink. And if you want to use chat, you can. I'll send a message in chat really quick so you can see where it's at. All right. And like I said, I'll check again in about 2 minutes and see if we have everyone yet. And if not, I'll just maybe give it another minute before I get started. So I'm going to mute for now. Like I said, we'll get started very shortly. I need some like waiting room music. I'll remember that for next time. I'm going to give it just maybe 1 more minute. We will be sending a recording out after the event is over. So if at any time you have to drop off, that's perfectly fine. You'll get some follow-up emails as well with some information regarding ClerkMinutes. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for taking the time to join. I appreciate it so much. If at any time you have any questions, you can drop them into chat. I will have a question and answer session at the end. So if you want to save them, that's perfectly fine. I might not answer them until the end of the question and answer session, just depending on how things are going. This takes about 25 minutes for me to go through usually, and then we'll have plenty of time for questions at the end. All right, so my name's Megan. If you haven't met me before, I'm our ClerkMinutes specialist. I help onboard users onto ClerkMinutes, educate them about how to use it, what it is. And today, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how you can transform your municipal meeting minutes with ClerkMinutes. And I see we just had someone else join. Welcome in. Oh, maybe it was Nellet. If you see Nellet in chat, that's a member of our team. She can also help out if you have any like technical difficulties with the webinar today. All right. Hi, Nellet. So I have a couple of questions to start out with to warm us up before we get started. The first one is, what is your biggest pain point with your current minutes process? Does it take too much time? Is formatting a nightmare? Keeping track of who said what is difficult? All of the above? Or do you have another issue that I didn't list here? You can just put the letter, or if, like I said, if it's other, you can type that out in chat. Just let me know. So Stephanie says A and B, takes too much time and formatting is a nightmare. Understand that. We have anybody else that wants to chime in? Okay, Debbie says that it takes too much time for her to do minutes. And I get that as well. I've heard from just the range of time it takes for people to do their minutes is so different. I've talked to people where they spend, at least 20 hours a month on minutes just because they have so many meetings. And then some it's, it might be 3 to 5 hours per meeting, but that's still a lot. Even 2 to 3 hours per meeting is a lot. That's a lot of time just spent writing minutes. Georgine says A and C, so it takes too much time, and keeping track of who said what is difficult. I can only imagine. We have Jessica typing. And Jessica says A, it takes too much time and it's the worst part of the job. Thank you all for chiming in. This seems pretty much in line with what I've heard from others. My next question is, have you ever tried any type of AI tools for your meeting minutes, whether it's ClerkMinutes, ChatGPT? I think there's like Google Gemini. There's some other programs out there. I don't know the names of all of them. So yeah, just let me know if you've tried to use AI for your meeting minutes. Georgine says no. Or even, maybe not even for the minutes. Has anyone here used AI at all? Like for any process? Played around with it? Jessica says she hasn't either. And Georgine hasn't used AI. So how AI works, it's basically like, it's models made with just information that's been, some of it's pulled from the internet, videos, pictures. And with that information, they can, I don't know all the technical details, but basically you prompt it, ask it a question, it's going to search its database and try to find the answer for you or build an answer for you. How we use AI, we use it in a bunch of different steps through the process, and I'll kind of point it out as we go. But you don't have to have experience with AI to use our software because it's just so easy. It's just kind of in the background. So it helps out with like discerning the speakers in our transcripts and actually writing out the minutes, comparing the agenda items to what's said in the transcript to create an actual minutes version of your minutes. We've like trained it on sets of municipal minutes. It knows all the jargon and language it needs to use. So that's kind of how we use AI. And as we've just talked about, minutes take hours to finish the old-fashioned way. And with ClerkMinutes, we can really shorten this hours-long process to under 15 minutes. If you're very particular with your minutes and there's like a lot of very strict rules you have, it might take you a little bit longer. But on average, it takes about 15 minutes to process your minutes with ClerkMinutes. And with your time that you're saving, you can do things like improving your community, building relationships with your community and then other workers in your municipality. Or you can use that time for professional development. So how does it work? First, you need to build your agenda, or we do also have an agenda importer. So if you have like a nice template that you already use for your agenda that you just want to keep on using, you can just import that agenda out. And our system will, I think this also uses AI in the background, but it puts it in a format that our system can read. And then you need to upload your recording. So with that, you just either upload your recording or you copy and paste the link in. It's super easy. And then the last step is just processing your minutes, which means making any edits that need to be made. We have an optional step where you can assign speakers, and then just doing those little formatting tidbits that you need to do. So the first thing we're going to go over is the agenda, and it's really quick because it's such an easy process. So you can either upload, I think right now we only accept PDFs. We are planning on accepting docx files in the future, but right now you can just export it out as a PDF and import it into our system. And like I said, it kind of does the work for you from there. And then we also have an agenda builder. So maybe you don't need like a full-fledged out agenda for this meeting. You only need a few items, or maybe you want to start building your full agendas in our system. We can do that. And then we have a way for you to export it. So that's your two options. You can either build it in our system one by one, just adding the agenda items in, or you can upload it. Either way works fine. The next step is just to upload your recording. So how do you record your meetings currently? Do you do audio recording, video, both? Or maybe you don't currently record your meetings? Just let me know in chat. We do rely on you being able to have at least an audio recording of your meeting because that's how we get the transcript. But it doesn't matter if you do audio or video because all we need is the audio for the transcript. So I see Nancy does both, Georgine does audio, and Debbie does audio. Thanks for chiming in. Like I said, we do require you to have some form of recording. If you don't already record your meetings, there's some different ways you can record them. One way is a handheld recorder. That works for those smaller meetings as long as you're not in a huge room. That can really work for a lot of municipalities. It also relies on people talking loud or talking into a microphone. You want to listen back to your recordings. Some people even use their phones, but you want to make sure you can listen back to that recording and you're able to understand what people are saying. Because if you're not able to understand what people are saying, there's most likely our system's not going to be able to generate an accurate transcript. So always make sure that everybody's speaking loudly or into a microphone if possible. If you're all around a table in a room, it might be okay. Not everybody being mic'd up as long as people are speaking loudly or, at a reasonable volume that your recorder is going to be able to pick up. The next option is an AV system. This really works for, mid to bigger size municipalities. I know some smaller municipalities have them as well. It's a little bit more expensive, but I think it's worth it if you have the funds just for the fact that it's kind of plug and play. You don't have to do as much. You have somebody come in, set it up for you, show you how to start the recordings and then pull the recordings. And then you're getting really good high quality recordings every time. Another option is something like the Logitech Rally Plus. There's some other systems, like I think there's something called the OWL, that you can just set on a table, a desk, or somewhere in the room. And it does like 360 recording of video and audio. Those are also really good. Again, you want people to be able to be speaking at least loud enough for it to pick up. So you might want to do some tests first, or have everybody on a microphone so it will pick them up. And then the last option is you can live stream your meetings. There's live stream setups where you can live stream them on Zoom or YouTube. And if you do it this way, you can just copy and paste the link that from the live stream into ClerkMinutes, and it'll just pull the video for you. And to upload, again, we can take audio or video formats or a YouTube or Zoom link. We take most common audio and video formats. So like MP3, MP4, I feel like is the bulk of what we get. We can also take like movie files, WAV, WMV, and then again, the YouTube or Zoom links. I think we also take SoundCloud now as well. If anybody uploads to SoundCloud, I haven't really heard of any municipalities doing that, but I think that's an option. And if you need any help with if you need a way to record, feel free to reach out. We have a lot of clerks that are currently using ClerkMinutes. We can set you up and get you on a phone call with one of them. And so you can talk about what they're currently doing, or we can give you some email contacts to reach out to of people who have really good recordings that can help you out. All right, the last step, we're already here, is just to process your minutes. And the process of minutes does have some subsections, but they're all really quick. We need to assign speakers. This is an optional step, and I'll go over that in a moment. We need to set the length and tone. So that's just how long we want our minutes to be and what kind of tone we want them to have. And it's kind of like a stylistic choice as well. And then the last thing is just to proofread your minutes, make any little edits you need, and then you're done. So for assigning speakers, first, what you need to do the first time you use ClerkMinutes, I would just go ahead and add in people who talk pretty much in every meeting or most of the meetings that you're going to be doing. That way they're in our system. Once you add them once, you don't have to add them again. When you add speakers, it just asks for things like their name, their job title. And what this does, assigning the speakers in the transcript, it's going to include their name and then their position or title in your minutes. So it is an optional step, but it does improve your minutes a lot, and it keeps you from having to go back in and add those names in. And I mentioned this earlier, but our system with the AI, it breaks apart the speakers, so it can tell differences in different people's voices, and you'll break it out by however many people spoke in that meeting. And then once you have everyone added in, we have this bulk assigned speakers list that will pop up every time you do your minutes. And here we have a play button beside each speaker number. And once you hit that play button, it's going to take you to a portion during the meeting when that person was talking. So you just click the play button, listen for a moment, identify who's speaking, and then you just choose them from the drop-down list that you've created. And once you're done, it really just takes a couple of minutes. Once you're done with that, you just click assign speakers to transcript, and it's going to assign the speakers all throughout the transcript every time they were talking. Again, this really helps with your minutes, having the names and positions are already in there so that you're not having to add those in again. And over time, our software will even learn on people's voices, and it'll try assigning speakers before you probably still want to review them at first when you're doing it until you get comfortable. But it'll, over time, as you're doing minutes, it'll learn on people's voices and go ahead and have their name chosen from the list on the screen. And also if they like introduce themselves, like they say, hey, my name is Megan, it might go ahead and pick my name from the list. Hey, this person introduced themselves as Megan. That's obviously Megan. So that helps out as time goes on too. So the next step is just to assign length and tone. So on our last step, the minutes tab here, we just choose how long we want our minutes to be. There's short, medium, and long options. Short's just quick, like action, like minutes almost. And then long is a little bit more detailed, and the medium's just kind of in between the two. With the long, you might have multi-paragraph sections like under each agenda item. So it might be 2 or 3 paragraphs, whereas like with the short section, it might just be a couple of sentences, and the medium might have like 1 paragraph. And then the next step is to choose the tone. We have a few different options here too, like casual, official meeting format, professional. I don't remember all the options. There's also some silly options there, like make it sound like a Southerner if you want it to sound like me. But I recommend trying out maybe the top 5, I think, are actual serious options. And once you generate your minutes, there's like a little button at the bottom where you can regenerate them and re-choose the length and tone so that you don't have to go through this whole process again. And when you're first trying out ClerkMinutes, I really do recommend going and trying out the different tones and finding out which one you like best. And then from then on, you can just choose that tone every time. And then the last step is just to click generate draft minutes. And once you do that, it's going to actually start, it's going to start writing your minutes out. Keep skipping the screen. It's going to start writing your minutes out in front of you. You can watch it generate them. This is kind of an older screenshot. On our updated page, you can also view your audio or video recording and your transcript on this page as well. It's just off to the right. So as you're processing your minutes, you might want to go and you think maybe y'all talked about something that you're not seeing in the minutes. So you can use Control Find or just scroll through the transcript, find where you're talking about that. And if you want to include that in your minutes, we have something called AI Actions where you can highlight a section and you can either just have it make it longer and you'll go back to the transcript and pull more detail and it might include it if you do that. You can make it shorter if you want it more concise. Or you can use describe your own change. And with this, you can ask it specifically to talk about things that maybe it didn't mention in the minutes. So for example, if ClerkMinutes was mentioned and during the meeting, but you didn't see it anywhere in the minutes and you know what section it was in according to your agenda, you can just highlight that section in your minutes, click describe your change, and say, make this more detailed and make sure you include where we talked about ClerkMinutes. And it's going to go back, find that in the transcript, and improve that section for you. It really does help out in just making your minutes more personalized to you and where it's actually talking about where it's talking about what you think is important for that section. So we can see here, I asked it to make this section longer and put it in paragraph form. It can also format for you. Like this one has some bullet points. And once you do that, it's going to generate what it thinks you want. And then from there, you can accept it or discard it. If you click accept, it'll just import it into your minutes here. All right. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want to try out those different tone options, or maybe your minutes just did not generate well, that happens sometimes with AI, you can always just click regenerate and it'll just regenerate your minutes for you. Sometimes they're better the second go round. Or again, if you want to try the different tone options out, you can do that as well. So now we're done with our minutes. It's very quick, and actually me going through that took longer than what it would actually take for you to do your minutes in ClerkMinutes. Just me talking in detail about it. So we're done with our minutes. The next thing I want to talk about is our newest updates. If you haven't used ClerkMinutes before, we're constantly updating and improving our software. And we do welcome any suggestions, comments, feedback you have once you start using it. Again, we're constantly making updates. So since I think the last one we did might have been in November. Since then, we have better agenda imports. It's more accurate to your agenda, and you can import longer agendas now. Our minutes are also longer on the longer option. And we have a faster and improved transcript, so it's going to generate your transcript faster, and it's more accurate as well. So as we've discussed, finishing your minutes take hours the old-fashioned way, and we can shorten that process to 15 minutes. Since you guys all took the time to meet with me today and watch this presentation, I want to give you all a free trial of ClerkMinutes. It's a 14-day trial. You don't have to input any credit card information. You just go ahead and enter in some basic information. I'm going to drop a link in chat where you can do that, and we will also send some information out by email after. Let me get this sent over. And if you want to find out information like pricing, you want to just more in-depth information about ClerkMinutes, we also have frequently asked questions. You can find all of that on ClerkMinutes.com. And I'll link that as well, because we do have our pricing publicly available. We have a blog with a lot of good information, a how it works page. And then if you scroll down to the bottom on our homepage, we have very detailed frequently asked questions. There we go. All right, so like I said, feel free to start your trial. It's risk-free. You don't have to enter a credit card or anything. We'll send you some emails to get you started. If you need a one-on-one onboarding, you can schedule that with me. And if anybody has any questions, go ahead and send them my way. And I'm going to drop my email here as well, just since it's not on this page. I should have put it here, but so you have all that info now. What does it cost after the first 14 days? So we have different, maybe I can just share my screen. Let me see. We have different tiers. So it depends on what you need. Let me share my screen. There we go. All right. So here we have our monthly pricing options. It starts at $99 a month. That's for 5 meetings a month that you generate. It doesn't count if you like regenerate your minutes. You can do that as many times as you need to. It's 5 different dates of minutes. Does that make sense? Like 5 different sets of minutes. You can regenerate as much as you need to, but just 5 different sets of minutes. And you do have the option to add additional meetings as needed on this first plan for $20 each. You can have 5 team members added in, so they each have their own accounts. They can go in and create their own minutes or edit yours. We have the growth plan, which is $199 a month, and that gives you up to 15 meetings a month, up to 10 team members that can do their own sets of minutes or go in and add to your minutes. And additional meetings on this plan are $13 each. And then we also have a custom plan. With our custom plans, you have unlimited meetings. You can, we can do custom prompt engineering, which basically means that we train it on your minutes, and it learns based on past minutes that you've done. It's a very custom tailored plan. And this one, the pricing just depends on exactly what you need, how many users you're going to have. So with that, you can just book a call with me or email me if you're interested in that plan. And we do have yearly options as well, where you save 20% if you pay for the year up front. And so that comes out to like $83.33 on a month on the starter plan, but it is billed annually at $1,000. And then we have the growth plan, which is the same thing as the growth monthly plan, but it's paid yearly at $2,000, which comes out to $166.66. So that's our pricing. Oh, Georgina, I hate that. You can still try out the free trial if you want to. Use it for 14 days. We do have a Refer Clerk program where if you get somebody else to use ClerkMinutes, they put your name as the referral, you can get free months. So for each person you refer, you get a free month. So that's a way you can go ahead and use your 14-day trial, and then you can always refer people. And they don't have to pay for it. They just have to do a trial. So if they do a trial, you get a free month. No problem. Do we have any other questions I can help with? And I thank you all again for taking the time to meet with me or to watch my webinar today. I know that you guys are all so busy, so it really means a lot that you took the time out of your day to hang out with me. And I'll hang around to answer questions for a bit longer. If anybody needs to drop off, feel free. I'm going to keep it recording until everybody's done with questions. And feel free to email me with questions as well. Or if you want to set up a one-on-one meeting where you watch me actually go through it, we can do that. Thank you for joining, Nancy. I'm glad you found it interesting. We've been working on ClerkMinutes. I don't know if it's been 2 or 3 years now. I know it just came out of beta last year, and I still find it so interesting. I do this as my job, and I just think it's such a cool piece of software. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Stephanie. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your week. We're only on Tuesday, so we still have a few days to go. All right, we got any more questions before I end it? All right, going once, going twice. I don't see anybody typing. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end it, guys. One more time, thank you for joining. If you're watching this back, thank you for taking the time to watch it. I know that also takes out a chunk of your day, so thank you. And you can also start your free trial. If you're watching it back, you should get a link. But if you just want to go and do it yourself, you can just go to ClerkMinutes.com. You can either do it from the Try It Free link at the top, or you can go to our pricing page and start a trial directly from there. All right, bye, everybody. Let's stop the recording.